Doesn't matter.
You already did it, didn't you?
It's already been done. Welcome to Not Married to the Name. I am Deuce, and this right here is PBR. We might be joined later by a special guest, and by special I mean retarded. Grant. Oh nope, don't use his real name. Haha, Stanky. Anyway, you're blurred out, bud. You
Uh-oh.
moved. You moved too
What happened?
much.
It's refocusing. Here we go.
It's too much beauty to focus on. All right.
Yeah.
So you wanted to start this one off with a little catch up. The story we started on last week about your cousin and his new adventures.
Yes. So
And then
I've
we'll
got
get
a
into
cousin.
gaming.
I've got a cousin. Let me lay the story out, and then
Yeah,
you're gonna
start
have
from.
a lot of questions.
Okay.
My cousin, he's developed later in life, so he didn't have attraction to men or women for a long time. He's got high functioning autism, and we talk on a weekly basis. And what happened was he had this person he met on VR chat. So Deuce didn't know how they met, but they met on VR chat, I guess. And what happened was
Are they furries?
they are furries. They are furries.
Oh God, it's so predictable. This world we live
So
in.
he went down to Omaha, which is a long drive for him. Drove to Omaha, Nebraska to meet this guy. Got a hotel, champagne. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
Supposedly it was a great time. I haven't got to talk to him yet about it, but my best friend is his brother, so we were talking. And what happened was we found out more about this guy. So this guy has two roommates in Omaha who were very mad that he was going to hang out with my cousin.
Are,
And
are they gay as well?
I don't know. They didn't want him to come. I don't know if they wanted him to come over or not,
Is he
but
autistic as well?
that's what I'm wondering. Yes, another good question. So finds out this guy lives in a closet with his two roommates. He lives in a legitimate closet. He does have a computer in the closet, and
He just
he's
VR
got
fapping all day.
a $400 rent payment a month to live in a closet. So we're wondering, me and my cousin are wondering, well, first of all, is this guy actually paying rent? Is he a functioning human being? Can he like get a job, or does he have a job? Well, turns out my cousin, this is his soulmate apparently after this weekend. So he wants to move this guy up to where he lives, 8 hours away, and my cousin lives with his older brother.
Let me
My
preface
older
this real
brother,
quick by saying anybody who makes you nut for the first time is your soulmate.
fucking right.
But you don't want to live with them. Holy Jesus. Okay, sorry.
Yes. So they've known each other 1 month, and he wants to move this guy up. I guess he's already given this guy thousands of dollars.
Where did your
Yes.
cousin get this money from?
My cousin makes good money, works for a living, very high functioning in the work atmosphere, doesn't miss a day. Uh, he's a driver, male driver.
He's driving those males home. Yep.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay.
So my take is maybe this guy does like my cousin a lot, but he's obviously using him, which you don't want to be doing when you're supposedly in love and soulmates. And it's a huge red flag. And there's no way he should move up here. My cousin should not allow him to move into the house with them.
No, his brother should be putting the kibosh on this whole thing. Like, no offense, but that's a little extreme. Especially, I mean, if you think about it, if you abstained from even coming in general for that long, and then as a full grown adult you experience it with somebody else, there's a
Yeah.
lot of mixed emotions there, especially when you don't quite grasp the whole thing. I think
So
you should have
my
your heart
cousin,
broken a few times before you decide you're fully in love.
yeah, my cousin's having to play dad in this whole thing. So I'm asking the same questions you are, and thinking probably the same questions you are. So I had this whole spiel last night while I was talking to my cousin about all these things. And what do you think? Do you have any questions about this? Because it gets a little deeper.
How old is the guy?
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I,
he's
I
playing
asked my
VR chat.
cousin.
He's
My
probably
cousin asked the other guy. Yeah, he's in his 20s for sure.
okay. So he's in his 20s.
My cousin,
What
the
are
one
his
who went
relation
down
to the
there, is
roommates?
early 20s.
What is its relation to the roommates?
I asked that as well. And Rambo asked his brother.
And
And
no relation, no response.
his brother didn't dig deep enough into that. So his roommates don't like him. His parents kicked him out of the house. But his roommates did not want him to meet my cousin. So I'm assuming either they are like holding this guy and like taking advantage of him for $400 a month, or they think my cousin's just some weirdo coming from 8 hours out.
He's not.
And this
They're
guy's
not wrong.
yeah, this guy's probably just like my cousin. So we're like, well, did you ask this guy if you could meet the roommates? Like, did you go and try to hang out with them or talk with them? And he said no.
Yeah, that's a hard one to break down. There's so many questions that need answering. I mean, the only thing the only thing Rambo can do is say, not happening at my house. You guys go be furries somewhere else.
Yep. Either this guy moves up here and gets his own job and gets a place.
Does he have a job currently? Do we know?
He does not have a job.
Just a blow job.
And he does not have a license.
So,
it's fucked, right?
does he have a neck beard? Is he extremely overweight? I mean, to live in a closet, I guess you can't be too big.
So what Rambo asked his brother was, is this guy a functioning human being in society? And my my younger cousin who's in love said, that is such a rude question to ask.
That is rude when you don't want to give people the answer. Yeah, well, I guess we'll just let this saga unfold, and we'll just keep updating it. It'll be kind of a running opener.
Yes, I will find out more.
Yeah, we need more details. But
What
other
do
than
we name the saga?
the Ballad of Two Gay Bronies. I don't really know. So today we want to talk about somewhat, the state of gaming, but then also the overrepresentation of certain groups within gaming that kind of don't exist to certain degrees. They maybe do on the conflated view of the world via Twitch's eyes, but in reality, most people are normal. They're not looking for something that is out of the norm. We've existed on this planet for how many years? Nobody knows, but a lot of these new ideas, we were successfully evolving somewhat, technologically anyway, for the last blah. And now all of a sudden these ideas are going to push us forward, which to me sounds like a scam. But anyway, so we'll talk about overrepresentation in games and what it's doing to the industry. If you have anything you want to say before we kind of get into it?
Sure. Do we need to touch on Twitch at some point?
Yeah, we can talk about Twitch a little bit. I mean, so we both have a streaming background. And when we were streaming, we noticed that just the atmosphere on Twitch was changing. It went from being very games oriented, and it kind of fell into this, I don't want to call it brain rot content, but just like a dumbing down of entertainment. People were starting to gain fame off of being entertaining or informative, and they're not at all.
So a lot of times you'd see someone with a big rack who would write Sharpie on their body, and they might be on the front page of Twitch. Or there'd be something so egregiously out there on the front page of Twitch that I can't believe it passed 18 and up content. Like, I'm talking, if you're signing in on Twitch and you're a little kid, the stuff that was on the front page of Twitch would blow my mind.
I don't know the age restriction on Twitch. It might be 18.
Or is it 16? Well, you have to make an account. Notify. Correct.
I don't know what the age is. I should probably have looked into that, but I didn't. Either way. 16, 18, 20, 30, 40, 90 years old. When I'm going to twitch.com or .tv, I'm going there for gaming 90% of the time. gaming or streamers who actually have something to say that's interesting, somebody with a character, not somebody that just has a nice set of tits and a juicy little booty. I don't know if you saw the clip of the CEO of Twitch. I've always hated the guy. He's a scumbag. But when he logged into his account, it was all booby streamers, like all of them. The guy, to me, that just says pathetic. I'm sorry, you're kind of sad. You're a sad little white-haired doofus.
Okay, so I just pulled up a blank content of Twitch on a blank account, and the first thing that popped up was an animated character, no one with a webcam. It was a female, and there was shit all over the screen. Just all sorts of shit going on, like a giant infomercial, basically. She had about 1.7 thousand subscribers, it looked like.
Oh, yeah, I see it. What?
She's
Why is
gaming.
that person? Oh, they're actually gaming, huh?
Splatoon, is that what they're playing?
No, I see Alexandria. It's another one. It's these ugly girls who get avatars now and make money like they're hot. I'm sorry, but a hot woman is a hot woman. I'm not saying they deserve anything for being hot. If anything, I think they should be degraded for being that goddamn sexy. but in our society, we build them up, put them on this pedestal, and then thirsty men fight over them, which is
so
sad.
really with Twitch, we won't go too deep into it, but Twitch has been just garbage for the past couple of years, and it's the point of Deuce quit streaming on Twitch.
I deleted my
barely
Twitch
stream.
account. I actually requested that. I had affiliate too, and I made them delete my account.
Yeah, it's to even be a part of Twitch is kind of embarrassing, honestly. Like, I don't want to tell people I stream on Twitch because it's embarrassing.
Yeah. So the thing about Twitch is it's kind of, for certain people, we'll just use Summit, for example. It's his way of making money. He's been making money on the platform for 10 plus years. And he is cemented, in my opinion, as one of the biggest streamers, though his view count falls off because he doesn't play games that are necessarily popular all the time. He's one of the longest running streamers on the platform that has been big for a long time. And I wish he would leave Twitch so badly. I wish that he would leave. I wish all these guys would leave and just run a fucking server out of your house. Make a website that everybody who streams on it, they're literally streaming up from their own servers so that the company is not they're just hosting a website that puts everybody together. And they're going to say, "Oh, that takes so much money to rent a server then." If you're not willing to invest in a business, right? Your business, then you're in the wrong field. You need to go work at Taco Bell or do something that doesn't require you to put money into it to actually go somewhere with it.
And so for anyone that doesn't know, Twitch doesn't make money.
No, Twitch isn't the
They basically,
in the black.
they just try to drive people to Amazon. That's the whole goal of Twitch being around still.
Yeah, they want you to pay that. Is it still $100 for Prime?
It's like 100. I think I just had it was 140 or 160.
Yeah, so I've never had Prime before.
I like it.
I don't order from Amazon though. I refuse to support Jeff Bezos. So I have never had an Amazon account. My ex-girlfriend did. So when I was subbing with Prime to, people that we were streaming with or whatever, that was only because she had an account and she was paying because she buys things off Amazon all the time. I refuse to use Amazon. I try and refuse to use a lot of websites. I try and shop mom and pop as much as possible, but it's impossible to get away from the big companies. And the reason I want to stay away from the big companies ties into the gaming thing, is they all want to dictate your opinion on things. They want to have a say in what they think you should think. And that is where gaming has gone lately. And that's kind of been the main problem that I've seen. And that's why a lot of these games that are coming out that are related to Sweet Baby Inc. are failing. It's because Sweet Baby Inc. is not there to make good games. Sweet Baby Inc. is there to push a message into your games. Brief history on gaming. Gaming back in the day was done by passionate people who were passionate for creation. They wanted to make something brand new. They had a new technology that nobody else was doing anything on. I'm pretty sure Pong was originally done on an oscilloscope. It was made just manipulating the waves on the oscilloscope. And they found that was fun. And then this is something that there's potential here. And they, obviously developed that into what we see today. But originally, people were coming up with creative ideas that were theirs, originals. They were not bastardizations of older titles. We'll say, what's a game that came out recently that hasn't been out in a while? We'll just use Dragon Age. They injected, this game takes place, it's a not a real time period, but it takes place, medieval and beyond and before, where there was no internet, there was no TV, there was no technology, there wasn't, quick transformations of information, or quick, back and forth with information. That shit didn't exist. Men were men, women were women. And when I say men were men, I mean men were men working in the fields, fighting for your whoever. We weren't sitting around on fucking computers, jerking off to porn, feeling bad for people that we didn't know. That didn't exist then. And they made this game where it's all about basically it's an apologist game towards trans people. I'm sorry, men dressing like women. The lead on the game is a man who pretends he's a woman, and there's somebody else in a high-ranking position also involved in this game who believes they're a woman. And when you take your outside world and push it into a world that's already has an established background, you're fucking shit up that you don't need to fuck up. And that's kind of where we're at today is, people are taking their personal opinions and putting them into stories they didn't write.
Yeah. So when I'm a marketing background person, and my professional career has been based off of marketing and sales, different advertising. I used to work for Pepsi, and we would create and receive different branding for, let's say, a new type of Gatorade Cucumber Lime. And
everybody loves that one.
It's marketed toward Hispanics because that's a cultural taste preference apparently in Mexico or wherever. And it's hot, right? So when it's hot out, cucumber lime is more refreshing. I fucking love that flavor. A lot of people hate that.
It's not bad.
Anyway, when I marketed that product, I was like, this makes sense to me. I understand why it would demographically, and when you think of like a geographic segmentation, be popular in the West Coast and in hotter areas. But then you get Pepsi doing stupid shit like making a Super Bowl commercial with Kylie Jenner, going up to riot guards, offering them a Pepsi and saying, "Hey bros, let's stop this riot with a Pepsi." And it's like, what the fuck are we thinking? And that's what's happening to the gaming industry, and it happens way more often than you see in general. Like, it's so bad right now with the gaming industry. And with movies and television, they're just forcing shit down our throats constantly.
The funny thing about television, and I can almost say this with 100% certainty, is if you pick any show, I'm just going to say Law & Order, for example. Law & Order's been on the air for a long time. I forget which one it is. It doesn't really matter. There's branches of the show, but it's one of the older original versions of the show that's still running. In the original episodes, the crimes were not they didn't dig into the people the way they do as the show progresses. You'll see, and this is not to talk about politics, but you'll start noticing things if you're aware. You'll notice they're taking digs every episode on a specific group of people. Every time, it's always a specific group of people they're taking digs on. Oh, these extremist, crazy white supremacists. Well, when they say white supremacists, all they're saying is people on the right, because they don't understand that white supremacy really is a leftist idea. That's why That's why they are the do-gooders, because they're superior to everybody else, and you must follow their rule. The whole thing is backwards. But anyway,
I have two more to add in.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you can watch the progression
Orville.
of them
The
constantly
Orville
getting
season
worse.
1 was created by Seth MacFarlane. He's the guy who created Family Guy, right?
I liked the first season of that show.
First season of the Orville was awesome. Second season, decent. Third season, got really political. And I know for a fact Deuce and I have both watched For All Mankind. And that show made a whole agenda out of a woman being the first lesbian president. Like,
Who cares?
First, she was the first woman president, but they had to make her a lesbian too. And it's like, why are we writing a fucking show and having to tangent a full season into this? But Apple TV, they make pretty good.
They do, and it's unfortunate that they have such. It's like, for me, it's like it's like a sex scene in a movie or a TV show. Altered Carbon, amazing show. Too many fucking sex scenes. I'm sorry, if I want to go jerk off, I'm gonna watch porn. I don't want to watch a sex scene. To me, that means you have terrible writers and you can't fill this minute and 45 seconds with actual content. You have to put some girl's ass in there, you know, like, or some naked dude. Like, please, just allude to it. Get over it. I don't care if the woman was a lesbian and the first female president. No one gives a fuck. Was she the best for the job is the only question we should be asking. Not, does she eat pussy? No, nobody gives a fuck, okay?
And as a marketing professional, yeah, I don't know, and you don't know probably either, why the fuck is BlackRock doing all this control into the video game industry? How are they making money? By adding in pride skins and just making everything.
They're tanking it. I don't know if they're tanking it on purpose. So this maybe is my theory. They're tanking it on purpose so they can buy it all outright and then have all those IPs to continue to ruin for the rest of history. Because I'm pretty sure Ubisoft is going to get bought out by Tencent, which is a Chinese company. But why tank Ubisoft? Why, when you see how these movies, these woke ass movies are doing, and they're all not doing good. None of them are making money like they used to. Sure, some of them might break even. They might make a few million, but none of them are like blockbusters like back in the day. At what point do you look at your timeline of what's to come and be like, you know what? Just keep putting it out. We just keep making shit. Like the Star Wars movies. Star Wars is betraying their own fans by interjecting politics into it. They're going to say it's not politics, but it is 100% politics. My lady is the opposite of me when it comes to political beliefs. And I can sit down and have a conversation all day with somebody who doesn't agree with me. Why can't they? Why can't we save that for after dinner? Why does it have to be the main course? The disagreements, like it doesn't make sense to me. What they think it's doing.
And we're not trying to bash any sort of group of people either. Like, and bringing up the gay thing, I've got a handful, probably 10 to a dozen.
He's gay.
Lesbian friends, and they fucking hate it. They hate it, and it's just the same way I hate stereotypical white redneck. Like, I don't like white rednecks, but I don't like being stereotyped as a.
And you're pretty redneck.
White redneck.
You know, you're involved in some very redneck activities. Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's the gender politics, or whatever they call it. Not gender. I forget what it is. But anyway.
All right, let's get into. Yeah. We're going crazy. Let's get into.
He's a little better than last time.
Deuce, you've worked in lots of places, and you've attended a university with video games.
Yes. So I have. Now, when I say I worked, I'm going to say at EA, not for EA. I wasn't doing game-related things there. I was doing TV-related stuff.
He was banging the fat chicks. Let's just be honest.
They don't hire fat chicks. They don't hire fat chicks. EA is not.
I wish.
So I've worked around people at EA. I've worked around people at 2K Games or Studio Hangar or something. So I don't know what it is. I should have looked it up when I had the chance. I didn't. And I went to Full Sail for a little over a semester, right? Which is not very long, but anybody who's halfway intelligent can dissect what's going on in this industry. It went from passionate people who made games because they had a desire to create to an industry of so-called educated people who are educated on the industry but don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. They don't know what made gaming so attractive to people. That's why I can guarantee you that anybody higher up in the development chain that is not a graphic designer or character modeler or whatever, you know, I can almost guarantee that all the people above them don't play video games at all. Now there's a handful that do. Sure, they play Animal Crossing. You know, good for you. You're not a fucking gamer. I'm sorry. You know, there's a certain level of understanding that you need to create something that other people want that they don't have. And just like why the movies are failing now and why TV shows are, you know, produced so well. They're such good productions, but the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, the story, is catering to a group of people that is so minuscule that it's tanking everything because other people are like, well, I don't want to listen to this. I don't want to be part of this. I have nothing. That's not me. That's not anybody I know. But the people who are in lead roles now they're educated. They're not really attached to the industry anymore. Because all the ones that were left, they left a long time ago.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know how we're going to ever get back.
Independent game studios, like, you know, the Battle State, they do Tarkov. I feel like companies like that can produce a product that's actually somewhat unique. You know, not saying they were the first extraction shooter, but they were the most engaging of that genre. I feel like small to medium-sized studios that don't have outside money coming in, that is like when BlackRock's, I guess it's companies that aren't public, independent companies that are not public, that cannot be bought.
And Tarkov's putting all their money into making the game good. Like they're adding in realistic ammunition, mechanics.
Some Tarkov people would disagree with you, but
all right.
Yeah.
Would you disagree?
No, I feel like the amount of money they have to put into that game daily, just running servers and stuff like that, like it is not free for them. And what people forget is that it is not free, and that, you know, to keep something up like that running, I know they're a fairly big company now, but to keep something like that running, they have to bring money in, which is what they've been trying to do. And I'm okay with it. I don't really have a problem with it because they don't force it on you.
All I'm saying is they ain't trying to be like MX vs ATV and shoot confetti streamers out the exhaust. You know what I mean? Like they're focusing on the sound of the dirt bike. That's more so.
Yeah. They're focused on their goal. They're not focused on outside opinions. The only thing I feel like they changed that I wish they didn't was they took cigarettes out of the scabs' mouths. Scabs used to run around with cigarettes in their mouths, and they took them out. But there's still cigarettes in the game, so I don't know. I don't know where smoking's bad, okay? We got to remove this. If they add women to that game, though, I'm done. I'm sorry. No offense to females, but that's not realistic.
Yeah.
So anyway.
All right. Yeah, I think just going into, I wanted to ask my opinion on microtransactions. Used to be you download and buy DLCs for games, which I didn't do very often, but
I didn't either.
Games have to decide how can they make money outside of just the game. And DLC is one way, microtransactions would be another way. But the tangent of going away from having earnable skins that are actually desirable and feeling like you're feeling rewarded, I think has kind of gone by the wayside. And the best skins are the microtransaction skins.
Yeah, 100%. Because somebody put time and effort into it. So for them, So the whole argument with microtransactions, excuse me, I don't really hate them because I know that I like to grind, I guess, is why. I can grind and essentially accomplish the same thing. Like even with Fortnite. I did wind up buying a battle pass, but I only bought the battle pass so I could snowball it into more V-Bucks. And I play that with my lady's daughter. So it's not like it's my main game. It's a game that I play every so often, and I enjoy for the most part. But I understand that it's a free to play game, so I didn't buy into the game. I never had to buy into the game. There's nothing I can't get other than a skin and skins for weapons and stuff like that. And that stuff is not important at the end of the day to the gameplay. That's more important to like the individual, if they really like something or whatever. So when it comes to microtransactions, the way that they do it, I don't really hate it. People are like, oh, they just want well, no shit, they want your fucking money. They're a company. They're not doing this out of the kindness of their hearts at all. None of them. Not a single game developer is. The only way to do that would be to make a game, put it up for free, and then that's it. No DLC, no microtransactions, no skins, no nothing. A passion project would be the only way.
I'd say for me, I like microtransactions too. I think the original microtransactions around Fortnite were totally fine. Where they start getting murky for me is when you're theming an entire month into the store about one certain specific type of skin, and then everything is about building towards those skins necessarily, or
like grinding to be able to even buy them.
Yeah, I'm not really giving a full, strong, informative answer here, but I just feel like if you're gauging your game based around the microtransaction store, I don't like that. I want the game to be the game, and I want the microtransaction cosmetics to be separate from the game.
So one thing, I'm just going to keep it at Fortnite for the second, because it's just kind of the most relevant when it comes to it. But oh fuck, I forgot where I was going to go with that, unfortunately. But I will say this. Companies like EA, the way they monetize things is stupid as fuck. Because let's just use FIFA, for example. You can buy the tokens, and then what you can buy with the tokens is randomized. You're not guaranteed anything. So that's where the main controversy came from, is when you're buying loot crates. When you're buying things for a chance to get something good, as opposed to Fortnite where you buy V-Bucks and you buy exactly what you want. You don't have to buy a gamble at what you want. So in regards to microtransactions, the way that EA does it is disgusting. The loot crates and stuff like that, I'm not for that at all. I think if there's a good skin, price it at an appropriate price. Don't make people shell out hundreds of dollars to potentially not get the skin that they bought all this shit to get. That's where it's scummy. That's scummy as fuck.
Do you think that cosmetics should be available to earn, or do you like the fact that there's microtransactions that they're exclusive? Like, let's say you put a challenge and say, hey, you can buy this skin for $4.99, or you can grind the fuck out of this month and you'll get the skin at the end of the month.
I'm okay with that. If somebody's willing to grind, I mean, the way I look at video games, right, is, let's just say, before the last couple of years, it was $60 for a brand new game. And I figured if I was getting $10 of enjoyment per hour for 6 hours, that rectified me buying the game right there. So all I need out of a game is 6 hours of entertainment to really feel like I did not get ripped off. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me, but those people are overvaluing their time. I'm sorry. Get over yourself, okay? Do I enjoy a game that has a 10, 20, 50 plus hour story? Hell fucking yeah, I do, because I like to grind. But after 6 hours, for me, the game is paid for. So if it's a $4.99 skin and I, buy it or grind for it, I feel like either way they deserved my time on their game, giving other people somebody to play against, or the money that I give them just to fast forward to get the skin. That's how I feel about that.
You're an art person too.
I'm
You might
arty.
value that a little bit more.
What?
You might value the skin makers more.
You know, to be honest, 90% of them are kind of dog shit these days. Like, let's just use Halo, for example. A lot of those skins are just texture drops onto a fucking pre-made suit.
Yeah, a lot.
There's
of them,
no work put into
they're
them.
changing for a while when the game it was like light changing of the hex or the RGB. Like it was like, oh, you can have a green guy finally or a blue guy.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That's kind of what
I think everybody should be green. Everybody should be the original Master Chief colors. Get the fuck out of this rainbow shit, okay? This, you know,
their story is horrendous, man. Don't even.
I've never been. I have played as much Halo as you've seen me play, outside of like 1, 2, and 3.
That's when I think of microtransactions fucking a game. That Halo Infinite is the game.
I think what's fucking the game is the lead developer now. It's this new lady who looks like she never played anything except for donuts into her mouth, and and she is going to destroy the company, not the company, but the brand Halo. She is not going to help it. You know, that's why all these games that come out that are like fucking oorah, you know, like man games, they do so well until the community manager comes out and we all realize that behind the scenes they're a bunch of soft cocks and they're literally lying to us to make a sale. They're pretending that they are actual human beings to make a sale. They're a bunch of lizard people.
Yes.
Bunch of shapeshifters. We used to call one of my buddies, I'm not going to say his name, but he owns this company. I'm not going to show it. But in high school,
everyone's going to pause that moment and go back.
It's Caffeine and Kilos. He owns a weightlifting or like a coffee and whatever. And this is nothing talking shit on him. But his style would constantly change, and we called him the trendy chameleon, which is exactly what all these game devs are now. They're just trendy chameleons. They're jumping onto trends with games that they didn't write the original story for, and those trends don't fit the guidelines of the world that they're manipulating.
They're Nickelbacking.
I don't even know what that means. I never got the whole Nickelback meme.
They're just sellout because they change with the trends of the music at the time. But if they're talented enough to do that, then fuck, I guess no power to them. They're still making #1 hits.
I guess so. Yeah. I never knew too much about Nickelback. I always knew people talk shit about them, and I'm like, I don't get it. Their music doesn't sound that bad to me.
I'm a huge Creed guy, so for me, I faced it was rough for like a decade and a half, and now finally it's cool to like Creed again.
It's cool to like Creed again.
You're lame, so it's fucking sucks.
I like Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yes, I do too.
So what else is there?
I don't have much else regarding the game industry. We're just gonna shit on it probably pretty often.
Yeah, there's a lot to shit on it. It's really declined over the last 10 years. It's gone downhill rapidly.
It's the same. Hey, man, it's the same with NASCAR. It's the same with the NFL. It's the same with all these different industries.
NASCAR went down when that guy did the noose thing. When he was like, "There's a noose in their fucking garage." It's like, okay, buddy. Welcome to NASCAR. It's not a noose. Nobody cares about race except for the racists. I don't know if you've noticed that. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. My best friend's black. Who the fuck I care? My girlfriend's Native American. Like, what? Who gives a shit?
Yep. Dumb. Yeah, that's it for me. I don't know what else. I think I'm good there, my friend.
Yeah? Well, then we can call it.
Today.
A lot of gay sex in the beginning.
Yeah.
Man groping. Did they wear their furry suits?
I need to figure out everything you guys heard. The story is going to keep going, and I'm going to find out.
We're going to make a video game based on this, and it won't be a DEI game.
Maybe we call him in. We could call him in
if he's willing to get grilled a little bit. Like, I don't, obviously none of us give a fuck what he does in his own time or how much money he gives, but it is a curiosity now. I want to know all the deets. I want to know who this guy. We'll have him and his newfound lover on.
Yeah. He doesn't like the pride shit in video games.
No, nobody does. Gay people don't like that. It's
Yeah.
straight people who talk shit about gay people their entire life, and then all of a sudden, because when okay, this is a little tangent, and then we'll be done. But when we were young, everybody used to be like, "You're fucking gay. That's so gay." But we weren't talking about them sucking dick or taking it up the butt. None of us cared about that. When we were kids, we didn't even know what that was. We couldn't even fathom why anybody would stick a dick in a vagina, let alone a butthole. And now I stick my dick in her. No. She wouldn't want me saying that.
Sick bastard.
I know. Anyway, that's it from me before I get myself in trouble here.